Greetings, Mark Brantley here, your credit union evangelist, spreading the good news about CUs. And I am excited that you are tuning in to my channel. I appreciate the support. It's been a couple of weeks, but I'm able to upload this video. And we have a pretty good topic on today, and it has to do with how to search for a credit union in your area. Now, you're probably wondering, why do I take the time out of my schedule to get on video and to talk about credit unions? Well, in spreading the good news about CUs, I'm excited about the good news. And when you have good news, you just like to spread the word. You want others to hear the good news so that they can benefit and be blessed by the good news that you've come to discover. And I believe that credit unions are institutions, financial institutions that have been in the shadow of banks for so many years. And it's just now because of social media and the fact that credit unions are now becoming more marketing savvy and participating online to push out their stories, that credit unions are now coming from behind the shadows of banks and are now as part of mainstream financial institutions. So on this platform, I make every attempt to promote credit unions. I don't receive any remuneration for that. I just do this because I'm passionate, and I want to provide this as a service to those that may not be inclined to know about credit unions and the work that credit unions do in the finance space. And just as a brief discussion on the differences between banks and credit unions, I often have in past videos made this distinction that credit unions are not-for-profit financial institutions. They are cooperatives. They are member-owned, and the primary purpose is to deliver excellent service to its members, as opposed to for-profit banks whose primary purpose is to earn dividends for their shareholders. Credit unions have a equal form of governance in that each member, regardless of the amount of money you have on deposit, each member has one vote when it comes to its governance structure and to govern the institution. However, for banks, it in essence is dependent upon how many shares you have invested in the company. And based on those shares, you then have much more leverage in determining who sits on the board of directors and how the company or the bank is run. However, when it comes to credit unions, do you know that each member can become a director? You can actually apply to sit on the board of directors, or you can apply to sit on the supervisory committee. And the supervisory committee is a type of audit committee that sometimes is an extension from the board of directors, or they are an elected body separate and apart from the board of directors, and they are elected just like directors are. So each member has that opportunity to participate in how the credit union is governed, how the credit union is run. So those are some just a couple of unique distinctions between credit unions and banks. And this is one of the reasons why I do prefer credit unions. Also because credit unions promote the social good. They provide financial services to those that are of modest means, those that are unbanked, and even those that are underserved. And we make every attempt as credit unions, and when I say we, I'm including myself as an advocate for credit unions because that is my passion. So when I speak of we, that's what I'm referring to. And so it's to provide that social good and to provide quality financial products for those that are on Main Street as opposed to those that are on Wall Street. But to our topic at hand, I would like to explain to you, or show you rather, step by step, how you are able to find a credit union in your state and in your city where you reside. There's an interesting tool that's online, and it's called Credit Unions Online. Now, because the steps are so simple, I'm not going to show it on my screen, but you will be able to take your phone or your laptop and just type in the address bar www.creditunionsonline.com. That's credit unions with an S, online, one word, .com. And when you hit enter, you will see a page that will appear, and it will say Credit Unions Online, your online source for everything credit union related for nearly 30 years. And then you'll see two boxes underneath that says Credit Unions in my city, or there's a box that says Credit Unions near me. Now, what we're going to do is click on the box that says Credit Unions in my city. If you want more of a narrower search, and by the way, you have to excuse my New York accent. Every now and then that'll get in the way of certain words being pronounced. Like, for instance, I mentioned the word source as probably sauce. And just like something that's more familiar, I'll say hot dog instead of hot dog. So you have to forgive that New York dialect, so to speak, that New York accent. So we're going to look at credit unions in my city. So you should be at that page. And if you're not, go to creditunionsonline.com. And when you get there, click on Credit Unions in my city. And then what pops up are boxes, two categories of boxes. One is credit unions by state, and it lists all the 50 states in the United States, starting with Alabama, and then ending with Wyoming. And then underneath that, you have credit unions by city. And you are able to choose a particular state in this particular category and then narrow down the search. But we'll go to that. But for now, why don't you go to credit unions by state and then pick a state? I'll pick, for instance, the state of Florida. Why not? Oh, by the way, these state choices also include territories like Guam, for instance. But we won't go to Guam. It also has the Virgin Islands. But we're going to select Florida by state. And when you select on Florida and scroll down, you'll see a box for a Florida credit union locator. And what that will do, if you click on it, it would give you the opportunity to put in, let's say, a zip code for a more narrow search. And therefore, it would list by zip code those credit unions that are near you. But why don't we go further down the page, and it will list the credit unions by city that are in the state of Florida. And if you're there, you'll see that the first listed city is Altamonte Springs. And in that particular city, there is Advent Health Credit Union. Or if you go down to Blountstown, which is another city in Florida, there you have Calhoun Liberty Employees Credit Union. That's in Blountstown, Florida. Or in Boca Raton, you have South Atlantic Federal Credit Union. Or in the city of Bradenton, you have Financial Access Federal Credit Union. Then in Brandon, Florida, West Coast Credit Union, and then so forth and so on. Why don't we just go down, for instance, to the city of Clearwater? There you have city county employees credit union, and what's listed under these credit unions is the credit union's address, phone number, how many locations they have in that city, the membership, the asset size of the credit union, and then it also lists the name of the CEO. And this application, this website, updates its content pretty frequently. And you could also access this information at the NCUA, which is the National Credit Union Administration. They also have a listing of all credit unions in the United States. But I personally think that this is a more user-friendly tool to find a credit union in your state and also in your city. And then, for instance, let's go down to Clearwater. And I'm going to click on the City County Employees Credit Union where it says Learn More. And when you click on that, it gives you more information about the credit union. It goes into, again, an overview of the credit union. It also can give you reviews about the credit union. There's a box that says read reviews. And if you click on that, it will be reviews from those that have had engagement or interactions with that credit union, be it members or anyone that tried to apply for membership. It also gives you the ability to write a review about that credit union. So it's a pretty neat tool. It also gives you, for instance, a fourth quarter financial snapshot. And for this particular credit union at the end of December, it had total assets of $36,560,946. In terms of assets, its total liabilities, $33,496,241, and the total equity or net worth is $3,064,705. Now, this particular credit union, after it was all said and done for the fourth quarter only now, did have a loss, according to Credit Unions Online, of $387,100. But again, that's only 1/4 of 4 quarters of the fiscal year. So just because they had a net loss in Q4 does not mean they did not make a profit from Q1 through Q3. So this, again, is a pretty neat tool for you to be able to find out about a credit union that's in your state as well as in your city. And as I mentioned, you can also narrow it down by searching via zip code. And what it will do is give you a drop-down menu that will allow you to put how many miles from your zip code would you like the application to search. And it will give you those credit unions in your area. So that was by city. So if you go back to that page where we spoke of the 2 categories, a search of credit unions by state and also by city, if you scroll down to the credit unions by city, you'll be able, and before we click on the down menu option, they do list popular cities already that's pre-populated. So, for instance, if you live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Atlanta, Georgia, or Boston, Massachusetts, those cities are already populated. Of course, New York City, Philadelphia, all the major urban centers are listed. But if you do not live in a very populated urban center, then you can just click on the drop-down menu where it says choose a state and then select a state. And what we're going to select, let's try Indiana, since we were already in Florida. So when you select Indiana, what it does is it allows you to go right across the page where it says choose a city. And when you select that drop down menu, you click on the arrow, you will see that it will have a list of those cities in the state of Indiana, starting with Alexandria, Anderson, Angola. Let's go down to the B's, Bloomfield, Bloomington. Let's see if Indianapolis is listed. And it is Indianapolis, Indiana. So let's click on that. And when you click on Indianapolis, it then drops down into a menu of those credit unions located in Indianapolis, Indiana. And there you will see Centra Credit Union, Christian Family Credit Union, Elements Financial, that has quite a few branches, Energy Plus Credit Unions. You get the idea. So this is an excellent tool for you to find a credit union. And when you click on that credit union, it will then give you the information on how you can go about joining the credit union, because every credit union is not open and it has a restriction on its field of membership. There are some that have an all access type of membership, and maybe next week we'll go over how to find out where those all access credit unions are. But from the most part in this particular application, when you select a credit union, you have to find out whether or not you are member eligible to join the credit union. And again, this is on www.creditunionsonline.com. Now, you still have to do your research, hoping that the information is up to date. And I would implore you to conduct your research and just use this as a means by which to determine whether or not you should then follow up with a particular credit union that you did see in the menu based on your state and local city. So that's creditunionsonline.com. I hope this particular episode of CU Evangelist or Credit Union Evangelist was helpful, and I hope that you will benefit by it as we continue to keep spreading the good news about CUs. So hope to see you on next week. If you would please hit the subscribe button, like this episode, this video, so that others can learn about credit unions and the good news that credit unions are doing in the community. Credit Union Evangelist, Mark Brantley signing off. Take care and God bless you. Bye.